It's 2021 and 9 full-time paid pioneers are doing life alongside the inhabitants of 9 different towns and villages across the diocese, often on the margins of society. Another 25 have journeyed through the Certificate in Pioneer Mission, a year-long course exploring the ideas and skills that enable the gospel to be shared in a contextual way, helping people discern what God is already doing in a neighbourhood and to join in. We've set up hubs for messy church, cafe church and outdoor church, opportunities for leaders of these forms of church to learn from each other and share good practice. And we've appointed an encourager of new Christian communities to come alongside church leadership teams to offer support and advice on how to grow and sustain something new.
The Christian church in the West has been through centuries of stability. Most people accepted the Christian faith, but society is changing rapidly now, and the people have flowed away from the church door. The aim of the Pioneer project was to help a culture shift take place so that we can reimagine what it means to be church in the 21st century. Pioneers can foster that culture shift by exploring appropriate ways of sharing the good news of Jesus among different people groups and in different places. Jesus is our example in this. He became like us, spoke our language, and pioneered a whole new way of being in fellowship with God, and today's pioneers follow in his footsteps.
God brought us here. He made it abundantly clear that he wanted us in Taunton, and the job advert for my role included all the reasons why.
To have the freedom to explore God with children in a park or in a school or in a cafe or on a farm brings me deep satisfaction.
Simple, really. I fell in love with the job description. It talked about growing something with the community from the ground up.
Been here just a short time, but already sensing great energy and enthusiasm, especially at a time when the council here is really looking at an arts strategy and agenda and are really invitational and warmly welcoming my role here.
We've come to Frome because we want to introduce young adults to the way of Jesus, which is a wonderful way, and we want to support them as they then develop a community of young adults following his way in this town.
The role description to go out of the church and seek young people and see how God might be real in their lives.
I believe God's calling us here to make a holy noise.
I think God imagines rural places where each person is loved enough to be fully themselves and to thrive in communities that they're part of.
I'm doing this by establishing 3 projects at the moment. One is outreach, one is a sanctuary, and one is a resurrection and upcycling project.
I see myself as like the sower who scattered seeds frequently and on all kinds of terrains. I'm constantly building others up, and I'm trying to promote a sense of presence and knowingness in a place that feels forgotten.
We feel called to focus on a few and are particularly connected with a small handful of families, walking with them, investing in them and praying with them.
We're praying in places like cocktail bars and walking through the streets, in the markets.
Currently we are creating a memorial garden in the local park.
Church might take root here through lots of little church connections.
Through real experiences of young people experiencing God in real and authentic ways, and then us coming together just to make sense of what that means.
It will be relational, informal and likely to be in small groups.
I could possibly see a monastic community being birthed here in Keynsham.
I think it will be small, outdoor, relational, collaborative, but I'm excited to find out.
The 9 pioneers who are paid for through the pioneering project were intended as a kickstart for all kinds of pioneering across the diocese. Most pioneering isn't done by paid specialists, but by ordinary people following God's call. And through the project, a whole range of folk have been inspired and encouraged, supported and trained. People who are in secular employment through the week, as well as readers, children's and youth workers and schools workers, and church leadership teams. And they've connected in to the hub events and local hotspot gatherings where people come together to share ideas, introduce new people exploring pioneering, and to pray for one another.
The course helped me understand that this is God's mission, not ours, and it's okay to be me.
The CMS course has made me realise that mission can be accomplished geographically very close to home. The cultural differences are there to be embraced.
For me, belonging was a reoccurring theme. Finally, I wasn't just the odd one out, the one who never quite saw things as others did. And suddenly, that was a good thing.
The Pioneer Project has a 5-year term, but it was set up with a long-term vision to follow the wind of the Holy Spirit into the parts of the diocese where the gospel hasn't yet reached, and see new people come to faith and express that faith together in new ways. 3 years in, it's still early days, but there is evidence that the project is having an impact.
Through this post, God has taught me a lot about the importance of being with people in the community, not just reaching out.
The impact of working with Tina and Farad has been tremendous. I can say that my understanding of mission has changed for the better, and I'm being challenged to step out in faith and to take risks, and to have the confidence to be open and led to where God is working and to join in.
The whole Pioneer Ministry project has enabled us as a deanery to think outside the box, whether that be with pioneer ministers like Nicky working in the community, or through fresh expressions, or church revitalisation.
With the appointment of all the pioneers and the allocation of most of the financial grant to salaries and training costs, we're talking less now about a pioneer project and more about creating a mixed ecology of church, diffusing pioneering and enabling fresh expressions.
The responsibility for the future of pioneering lies with all of us as we follow in the footsteps of Jesus, Paul the Apostle, and all those of our church tradition who crossed boundaries to proclaim that God's kingdom had come and they were invited in. We're grateful to all who have given money, time, prayer, expertise and support to bring us this far, and look forward with hope to what God will do in the future.